Radio. I'm one of the hosts here, Haize. I'm joined by the great one himself, Baylor The Great is in the building. What's going on, Baylor?
Yay.
Hey, today we're going to be breaking down all the latest news, topics, everything going on in the world of hip-hop and music in general. And let's go ahead and get into it. So first up, Baylor, have you seen Fat Joe and his comments on Akademiks after... listen, here's what I'll say. I'm just going to start out because I know you've probably seen it, but like everybody complains about Akademiks, but we still... It's much like Vlad. People complain about Vlad. Everybody still goes on Vlad.
Everybody still watches Vlad.
Exactly. Yeah. So at what point is it that unless artists are going to stop going to DJ Akademiks, that people just need to shut the hell up about DJ Akademiks? Like, it's not that I disagree with Fat Joe's comments of him not necessarily knowing the code, him kind of setting Lil Durk up, not intentionally or anything, but instigating some shit. But at what point is that people going to just be able to just stop going to Akademiks? What you think, Baylor?
I mean, unless he somehow fall off, I'm not even sure at this point if he get caught up in a situation where he has to go to court for something. Because nowadays, I mean, well, it ain't even nowadays. We've always heard it that any press is good press. Yeah. You know, and lately, I would say maybe the past couple of years or so, that a lot of negative press is almost better than good press in a way. So to Fat Joe, he got to leave that alone because first of all, it's not a part of our it's not our demographic anymore, dog. We got to leave that alone. When we talking about cats, I would say at least 35 and up, we got to restructure our focus and let them kids live, you know, because even though the social media is a different dynamic to the world, still the same thing. We never really had our parents in our business like that. Now, because they used to be kids, they knew that nothing was new under the sun. So they used to try to coach us and teach us certain things. But this is their time and era, dog. Like snitching is a joke to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they approach it in a different light. And I think it's nasty business because you'll be a lie. Fat Joe will be a lie to say he's not doing that for, you know, extra attention himself to bring awareness to himself. You know what I mean? It's all looked at as attention. You know what I mean? We know who A.K. is in our spaces. You know what I'm saying? And some people like him, some people don't. But at the end of the day, we watch a lot of stuff that's entertaining, and some of us are watching it to see that crash. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he don't care. He's still making money off of it. That's his life. I'm not about to pull up on him. I'm not rolling up on him. If I see him in the streets, I'm not asking him for an autograph, nor am I trying to attack him. So if y'all not gonna pull up on him, then you might as well just be quiet there.
I love how, like, that's really what it boils down to. If you're not gonna pull up, shut the fuck up. Like, that's just really what it boils down to. And like, if the people that involved aren't pulling up, then like, what are the people who was tangentially not? And you're not even associated. It has literally nothing to do with Fat Joe. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand the sentiment that Fat Joe is coming with, and I even understand the seriousness of what Young Thug may be facing. And that in general, I understand that as well because the YSL RICO case. It's about to be a lot of people that go down for that. I understand the seriousness in saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't talk about it. But you can't tell me if Fat Joe was not interviewing Lil Durk, he wouldn't have asked something. It may not have been about Gunna snitching, but he would have asked something in regards to that case.
You got to in this day, and you don't know. I shouldn't say you have to, but when you are who you are in this space, whether you're doing podcasting, YouTube, whatever, vlogs, you want the clickbait anyway, because it's going to get you more traffic driven to your site or page or whatever the case may be. So yeah, you got to knock. You know, this is the clout era. This is the clout era. So you piggybacking off of his clout.
That's a fact. Hey, I didn't think about it that way. That is an absolute fact. So, hey, I mean, we'll end up seeing what comes of it, what doesn't come of it. I really do think that at the end of the day, the seriousness around this YSL thing that's going on, it has to be treated, I think, a little bit differently because it only takes 1-2 mentions, and I know Gunna and Durk are both out of it at this point. It seems like, but you never know what's gonna rope you back in. RICO ain't no joke.
Yeah, and then after everything is all said and done, the people who did get out of it, they gonna still use it. I mean, if they smart, they'll be quiet and just leave it alone. Maybe even change your life. But for the most part, with this generation, we can pretty much tell that they're gonna use it for content. And then the people that got caught up, well, we know where they're gonna be at.
That's a fact. Speaking of with Dirk coming up, I finally watched that King Von documentary on
I
YouTube. You
haven't
got,
finished it. I haven't finished because it's like
bro?
3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't finished it.
bro. When I tell you, we got to talk about it. Whenever you do finish,
Yeah,
no rush.
I
No
have I
rush.
have to
Whenever you
finish
do
it.
finish,
But to piggyback off of that, before that was even because I know they came out with it this year, right?
yeah. I mean, it just I think came out in March this year. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 2 years. I'm more than 2 years, like 2 or 3 years into just I watched the hood vlogs. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
one of the top cities that I was looking at for years was before King Von even started rapping. I would say that I was on YouTube watching those Chicago clips. So I had already got a feel for how they move in the streets and things like that. And I think the last time I've been to Chicago was like 2014, and it was wild back then. Yeah,
Chicago's different, but the thing about Chicago is, I'm there a lot. Like the thing about Chicago is that honestly, as long as you're respectful, you ain't got nothing to worry about generally. Like, of course, you got the young people who just is hothead and things like that, but Chicago still runs. Even the people who have nothing to do with, they still run on a very mob like mentality, bro. And I
yeah,
mean like old school Irish mob type
mhm,
mentality. And
yeah,
so you just got to know how to bob and weave through Chicago, and if you don't, bro, like people then got caught up. Content creators then got caught up saying the
yeah,
wrong thing about the city and being there thinking it's gonna be all good. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying. And when I went literally by myself. Now I stayed out the way, but it's still, at the end, I think my cousin took me to we were supposed to go to a nightclub. When I tell you, you could tell I stick out like a sore thumb.
yeah,
A West Coast cat in Chicago, I didn't look
yeah.
nothing like them cats. Didn't dress like them, don't have the hair like them, none of that. So you know what I did when I got out that car? I got right back in it. I said, you know what? I don't think I'm partying tonight. I'm gonna go straight to the. I went straight to the airport after that.
Yeah. It's Chicago's a very different city, bro. I love
Yeah.
it, but it's a very different city. But yeah, we'll talk about that documentary once you get it. No, like I said, no rush. It's been out for a
I'll
while now.
finish it. I didn't know you was watching it. So now that I know you was watching, I'll go finish it.
All right, cool. Next up on the topic list, Megan Thee Stallion is still in the battle with her former label. What is it? 1501 Certified Entertainment. And so new deposition was filed. And new court documents and everything. And here's what I'll say with this: all of this, it don't seem like any of this is going away anytime soon. Like the thing is, and the reason why I kind of wanted to put this on the list isn't just necessarily to just talk about just this situation with Megan. It's to just keep solidifying the fact of artists. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a podcaster. I don't care if you're a rapper. I don't care. Whatever you do, when you get in business, know your contracts, bro. And that's really what it seems like this Megan Thee Stallion thing all comes down to. She was young. They gave her some money up front. She knew she needed that money, and they kept it moving. You got to read and understand the language of the business, bro.
Yeah. The problem is they don't realize that most of these artists, and I'm talking to the artists, including myself, if I ever wanted to be one, I know I can't read a contract. I know I can't read a contract. And you need the money to go pay an actual lawyer to break down your contract
That's a
to you.
fact too. Yeah.
So, I can understand because a lot of these artists is going to tell you the same thing. They wanted the money. They wanted the upfront money or whatever. And they signed everything that they didn't understand over to a company. And now you end up in a situation like this where you're trying to get out of a situation that you signed up for.
That's a fact. Miss Mary Almonte's in the building. What's going on, Mary?
Bye-bye.
We were just
Hey.
talking. We took the Megan Thee Stallion topic and kind of just talked about the importance of artists, no matter what your lane is, just knowing how to read and understanding contracts before you sign them. I think so many people get into bad situations where they try to get out later on because they just don't have the know-how, and these companies, they take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And it's sad that that's still happening in this day when, we should have learned so much from the TLCs of the world, if you will.
Yeah, the TL, so many people just in that era. Like when you just hear back, MC Hammer, like so many
Yeah.
people that lost out on so much money because They just didn't understand the business, and I think we're seeing more people who have that business acumen are doing it, like understanding it more so now than ever before. But there's still a lot of people getting caught up on top of that as well.
And you know what? I was going to slightly disagree with myself before by saying they have, the artists these days have the leverage because there's no gatekeepers anymore. You can literally go viral on any one of these apps. But here's the problem. The companies, the record labels they still have the leverage because they still got the money, they still got the budget, and they can still pick any one of you trash ass niggas to go viral. That's the problem. So even if you got a little bit of talent and you got a little brains upstairs and that contract don't look right to you, they don't necessarily have to deal with you. They can go find somebody else who's less talented and put money behind.
That's a big fat marketing right now. Marketing makes so many artists right now. It's crazy. That's the era that we live. Like if you have a halfway decent type of vibe to or track, like, and the marketing goes behind it, that's what makes artists nowadays.
Hey, there's an artist right now that blew up off, and we've seen it before, but this artist literally blew up off of one song, and before they even came out with a second one, they was already considered a brand because we was feeling her.
Oh, that's a great point there, bro. That's an amazing point.
You go from an artist, you go from an artist to a brand real quick.
Yeah, hey, that's the era that we live in. But from that news to not so positive news, the world lost Tina Turner at age 83, just a couple of days ago. Just an amazing artist, somebody who's just been through the decades of music, through in and out. Like it's just it's crazy. Mary, I'll come to you first on this one. When you think of Tina Turner, what are some of the first memories that come to
you? You want the truth?
Yeah.
One day when I was in the 3rd grade, I was having a rather active day at school. I ran around a whole lot, and my mom still didn't know what to do with my hair. So by the end of the day, my hair was like crazy. And one of my classmates said to me, "You look like Tina Turner."
That's funny.
So I went home and I was like, "Who's Tina Turner?" Somebody, and my mother was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Somebody said that my hair makes me look like Tina Turner." And she was like, "Go punch them in the face tomorrow." So yeah, that was my intro to Tina Turner. But as you know, and then shortly after that actually was when the Angela Bassett, what was that? Was
The
that a biopic, I guess?
Yeah.
Kind of came out. And that was when I really was like, yo, being compared in any way to Tina Turner as a compliment, wild hair and all. So, yeah, I mean, listen, she was so much, right? Like, she was someone who overcame domestic abuse. She was somebody who reinvented herself when she was middle-aged, right?
Yeah.
Because think about it, when she really started to pop as a solo artist, she was in her 40s at that point. And she spoke openly about how, like, she just always kept a mindset of like, yo, you take one day at a time and you just, kind of always bring that same energy. But, she was discouraged a lot being a woman at that time, especially that was middle aged, kind of trying to come out and with a solo career at that point. So, I mean, I feel like Angela Bassett had the best tribute to her on social that I saw where, I mean, it was a very long, long paragraph, but it was this picture of them both like really smiling. And
Yeah, I
I
seen
mean,
that
Tina
picture.
Turner also was known for that smile, right? Like she had a great smile. She had great legs. She probably was the first person, I think, to like insure her legs before J-Lo. Um, like she just really was the epitome of like owning your pain, right? And turning, poison into passion. And I forgot the whole damn paragraph, but it was really, it honestly, we can say with her, job well done. And I think a lot of people don't realize that she was sick. I mean, she had that HBO documentary, but I don't feel like a lot of people that I know watched it. I did, but so a lot of people I knew were like shocked yesterday. And I was just like, well, she was sick for a long time. And I felt like if you followed her story, you kind of knew this was going to come. But I feel like it shocked a lot of people. So anyway, regardless of the fact, I think that she really is one of those people that you could say did what she came here on this earth to do. So rest in peace to her, for real.
That's a
Definitely,
fact.
definitely. Well said there, Baylor.
The one thing I remember is her legs. Like Mary said, when I tell you her calves, her calves had to be burning every performance because it was chop, 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 chop. And she had so much energy though. So I've never been to a concert or anything like that, but after she passed away, hearing the stories from people on the radio, sports radio at that, said that yeah, she had a lot of energy, a gang of energy that couldn't be matched, and she was a little thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Little woman, but her legs was crazy though. I used to see her. I can't do
They
it.
were literally still crazy up until like 2015. It's wild,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
She knew how to maintain her figure when she got older because she was working out every goddamn concert.
yeah, that's true. Tina Turner's like such just when you look at it, she's been releasing music since what? Like since the 60s? Is that right? Am I off on that?
No, you're right. With
That's
Ike.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
When it was black and
Um,
white on TV.
Right.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. And hey, I mean, shout out to Tina Turner, a legend, called the Queen of Rock and Roll. And if you ever got to see her perform, I've never got to see her perform live, but if you see any of those replays, you can understand it. She knew how to control that crowd like none other.
Oh,
Really,
she
it
had
was
a
crazy.
co-like following for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure, absolutely. We lost a legend. It's that's one of the things that sucks about getting older, man. It's just you see so many legends go. It's crazy.
But you know what? I seen a lot of people sad. I wasn't when I seen the news. I wasn't sad when I seen the 83. You know
Mm,
because my grandmother is 83, and I'm like that's a blessing. You know your late
that's life.
70s,
Yeah,
you make it to your late 70s and up. After that point is just a blessing. You know what I mean? And yo, she had a interesting life. You know, and I'm glad that you know she's in a much better place.
that's what it boils down to, and that's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah, but rest in peace to a legend and Tina Turner. And let's go ahead and move into our new music section. We actually have an album. It's been a while since we reviewed a new album. Summer Walker, Clear to Soft Life. Who wants to take this one away first?
I didn't get through it all, so y'all are gonna
Okay.
have to take it from me.
All right, cool.
But I did like what I heard, so I'll just say that because
That's
it
fair.
yes. But I'm
Baylor?
a fan. Like I she's had no misses for me, so I'll say that too.
Okay.
Okay, so it's on me.
It's on you, Baylor.
Dang man, I don't want to be that person.
Uh-oh.
It's it sounded like Erica Badu didn't want this album,
Mm.
I mean,
especially the Gambino track. I like the J Cole one.
the way the having J. Cole open it was perfect. Perfect. Whoever decided to have J. Cole open this album, shout out to them. If that was the executive producer, whatever it was, great decision on a great verse from J. Cole and a great way to open up the album. That's crazy you said it sounded like Erykah Badu didn't want this album because I can understand exactly what you mean by that. Like I understand it completely. My thoughts on it are this, man. It's not a bad album, and I actually think sonically is actually I actually enjoy it for the most part. It feels like you know how, maybe this is me thinking. I can always admit that sometimes I look at music differently, and I think too much. But where's the growth from Summer Walker been as an artist? Has there been any?
Well, I couldn't really speak to that because I'm not much of a fan,
Okay,
and I'm used to seeing her for more about the stuff that she does online when she is online.
I think if it's not broke, don't fix it.
that's
Especially
fair.
for this younger generation. That's kind of the cheat code for them.
That's
Just be
fair
your
too.
same self always, over and over, and your followers will reward you.
Mm.
I mean, listen, I can't argue that at all. That's a fair assessment. I just think personally, like I said, it's not a bad sonically. It's not a bad album. Like if you just asked me to like critique the album for just what it was, it's fine. You guys know sometimes I think too much when it comes to music, and I have no problem admitting that. But it just felt like something that you put on in the background, and I personally think Summer Walker's too talented for that. Personally, I want an actual album. Like I want something that moves me, and I didn't feel moved by this at all. But hey, maybe there are some people that were. So
Is it the what needs to change? Is it the content or is it just the production? Is it the songwriting?
I think it's uninspired. Like I don't like you. To your point, you said that it sounded like a album that Erica Badu didn't want. It doesn't feel like I don't know if she writes her own music. I didn't look into that, but it just it had no type of personality to it. It felt like somebody who their producer had a bunch of how like Olivia had what was the song December that was great, but it was written for somebody else, but she killed it. That's what this whole album felt like. Solid writing, but it didn't feel like Summer Walker. It didn't. There was no personality in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, but I can put her in the same. I can put her in the same boat as the Pusha T's or the Logics or something like that. And what I mean by that is maybe it was just for her fan base.
I mean, yeah, and there's something to be said with that too. If it is just for your fan base, more power to you. Like, there's nothing
I
wrong with that.
and again and also to the consumer, like I listen to R&B different. I listen to different type of R&B now too. I'm more of a Haley Smalls type of listener now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Haley Smalls,
You
Victoria Monet. You
that
know
unit
how I feel
album
about that.
still go back to that, bro.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
but that's the type of sound that I'm into. So
What do we feel like about R&B right now? Like, what I know for about a year, maybe even more at that point, we were talking about like how you have to really dig in to find. Like, people have this concept that good R&B isn't around anymore. When we said at the time that it was just harder to find, you actually had to dig for it and look for it. Do we still feel that way? Do you guys still feel that way? Or do you feel like R&B is slowly starting to get more of the kind of mainstream notice that it deserves?
the toxic R&B is getting more mainstream. You can still like I tapped into the UK R&B section. So there's
Mm.
crates all over the world. You just got to go find it. And again, like I said, myself, it's a certain sound that I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's soothing, that and also that has a melody to it. So, I think it's still true. You still got to dig through the crates. It's just a lot more crates that you can dig through now.
That's fair. That's
No,
fair.
you don't
That's
have to
fair.
just stay in this country. You can go outside the country and go find some good music.
That's a great point as well, Mary. What you thinking?
Uh, feel like I'm the wrong person to ask these days, but I agree. I do think it's out there.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, moving off Summer Walker, let's get into the TV and film. We basically only got Power to talk about it. Are we waiting on Marquis to talk about this, or we want to talk about Power?
Well, by the time, I mean, if Marquis come back next week, then that'll be it, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling that, yeah, I have a feeling Marquis probably not up on it. If
Yeah.
I was a betting woman.
And you know what, Hayes? I apologize because I did not respond to your message when you said you seen the last two episodes, and you said this weeks ago. I'm like, duh, I just finished watching the last episode, but you was talking about the next two, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, because I didn't get the memo about the leaked episodes until like the week later after you said that, literally.
Got you. Got you.
So I'm like, did you just catch up? Like,
I know.
Uh,
So I didn't see the leaked episodes when they dropped. So I'm only up to what they've released already.
yeah. Oh yeah, man. We gotta. Oh my God, it's a lot to
oh
talk because my
man.
guy is back.
I know. Two bit. I
Yeah.
saw that.
No,
Yeah.
I was talking about my other guy.
Oh,
Which
Tom.
one's Tommy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we could that happen. That's out there. We could say it.
Okay, I'm just.
Is
You
that
know,
I because I saw him early. I don't know like where it is. I've been biting my tongue. The Tommy of it all though.
So yes, Tommy appears, and then this episode ends with uh Tariq waking up in the hospital, and then basically the crooked lawyer told him that her mother, disappeared. That's
yeah,
how
Okay.
it ends.
yeah,
Okay. Makes
yeah.
sense. How we feeling about it so far? Like I've seen the finale, so I'm gonna kind of excuse myself a little bit. But how you guys feeling about it, and where do you guys think it's going in the finale?
That's the good thing about it. I don't know. It's not even about the bodies hitting the floor anymore to me because they killed Sacks. Like that was the last body I needed to see go. So it's just the storylines being mixed and tangled in. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? We had a Tommy sighting. I'm excited about that. And now they're trying to turn what you call it into Tommy by him having his first official Tommy type of kill where he killed his own uncle. Like I mean I can see it, but nobody could ever replace that character.
Tommy, no, never,
Yeah,
never.
no.
Nobody could ever replace Tommy. Tommy's such a unique character, and I'm actually excited. I kind of forgot about Power Force. I'm not gonna lie, Tommy spinoff, but I'm kind of excited for that to come back as well because I think that's the next one, right?
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
so.
So excited for that. But I will say this: like the writing on this season of Power of Ghost has just been so phenomenal. It's like they know how to ebb and flow. There have been some episodes that were kind of down. Like I think the episode that Sax was died in, for the most part, that was a pretty nothing episode. But they ended it so strong that it's like you can't deny that it still ended on such a strong note that that was great. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
but then
mean,
did you see the actor who plays Sax when he posted to his social media the
yeah.
day that was great. Like that was funny.
He's been having fun on social media ever since they killed his character off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. He popped up in another show. I was watching some show and he popped up and he was an FBI agent on that show too. I was
Look
like,
at
he's just
look at
gonna get
Sax.
he's
Yeah.
gonna forever get character. Is gonna get cast as that type of character now.
Yo, I would love to see him in the streets and here. I know people be calling him Sax in the streets.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So I went to dinner the other day with an actor on a project that I'm working on, and he was on the first season of Power, and he was telling me, and he's from LA, but he was in New York, and he was telling me how people are still coming up to him in New York till this very day, like, we loved you on Power, blah blah blah, and he was in season 1 of the original Power, so
Mm,
kind of crazy.
That's
Like
wild.
the impact Power has at least on New York City is nuts.
yeah.
Yeah, hey, I mean, it's iconic. Power is iconic at this point, and hey, it's. I love the show. I love just. You remember how when this spinoff initially started, we were all kind of down on Tariq as a character, and how far that's coming this time already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just never know, man. Never
yeah,
know.
you don't.
So, shout out to the writing. Just great work that's done on Power day in and day out. And I can't wait to see where it goes in the season finale when we actually break it down and talk about it because we're going to have fun. That's all I
Yeah.
can say. We're going to have fun talking about that finale. That's all I can say.
Sure. For sure.
But all right, Baylor, what you got for us before we go, brother?
Nothing actually, man. Just we got summer approaching. Everybody get them t-shirts, get them sundresses. Yo, I ain't gonna say that. Get them sundresses ready, get them t-shirts. Oh, and get the hoochie daddy shorts ready too.
Hey, you coming back out with Hoochie Daddy merch again this year?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. But I did buy me some hoochie daddy shorts. I bought a lot of them, see?
Lord, help us, Jesus.
It's
Yeah,
it's about
them thighs is out
it's
all
about to
summer.
be a Hoochie Daddy summer. Apparently, is what Baylor's letting us know. That's
Yes.
wild.
Yes, all different flavors too.
Hey, do you, King? Do you? But that's it. That's wild. That's it. That's another episode of the Breaks Radio in the bag. Thank you guys for tuning in. Baylor, Mary, go ahead and leave me your social media before we get up out of here.
I'm at Miss Mary Almonte on all social platforms. And yeah, I kind of want to just drop this gem that I've been binging Primo. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And it's actually a pretty funny show. So y'all should run that
Primo.
up. Primo. Yeah.
Never heard of it. Might
Oh,
have to check
shout
it out.
out. I'm glad you said that now. I want to plug the South Side. That's a funny ass show.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all when y'all get a chance, pop an edible and go watch a movie called The Parallel on I forgot which streaming platform it's on, but it came out in 2018. It's about some roommates that can step through a mirror and go to another dimension and see themselves.
What's
That's all.
that?
The Parallel.
The Parallel?
Yeah.
What's it on?
What was it on? Oh, Tubi. It's on Tubi.
Okay.
Okay, man, I have to check that out.
Yeah. Hey, and I did. Oh, and I did watch the J Lo movie, The
There's a
Mother.
J Lo movie.
Yeah, it's called The Mother.
Oh, I did. I saw that too. There's actually It's cool. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
The
not
fact that
terrible.
you saw it and forgot about it kind of tells me all I need to know.
I mean, she didn't
This
go
J-Lo
viral.
movie?
She didn't go viral off her movie, but she definitely went viral with Ben. But they turned her into
All that
GI
Yeah,
Joe.
with
arguing,
Ben
that was
looking like
crazy.
he wants to kill her every little.
Man, listen.
Hey man,
He
Listen.
just looks miserable these days. He should just have a
He
drink.
definitely has that look that if he knew he'd get away with it. If he knew
yo,
for a fact that he'd get away with it.
yo, he did do the accounting.
Ah, that's funny.
Oh man, I've been there before. Not with my wife though. Not, you know.
Listen, don't get me involved in that. I ain't hear nothing. Cause yeah, your wife look like she don't play. I don't want it. I don't want to have to lie for you, and I don't want it. I don't want. Nah, I'm good on that.
When she leave, I start talking again.
But all right, that is another episode of Mary. Did you give me your social media? I can't remember.
I did.
All
I
right.
started it off.
Okay, you guys can follow me at CEO Haize. You can follow us collectively at The Breaks Radio. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, thebreaksradio@gmail.com. And lastly, you want to leave a text message and our voicemail. The number to do so, 614-547-2039. We are the number one spot for everything hip-hop and black culture related. We about this mug. Peace, y'all.
It's your daddy.